Hello everybody, welcome to Artsallover. Today I want to present a short presentation. It's a condensed version of the New World Order, Illuminati. I've been working for 2 years on this project to come up with this short version to make it within a format that you can listen to, think about, be informed about. I want to move right into it. The symbol you just saw is called the all-seeing eye pyramid, as you know. This particular symbol goes back to 12,000 BC. Now, nothing else I can really prove to you as well as I can with this symbol. There's too many ancient artifacts that are available that show this symbol. This symbol has become known as the symbol of the New World Order and the symbol of the Illuminati. It is also the symbol of the Luciferian philosophy. But in that ancient times, it is also known as the snake religion. Now, I'm going to be flashing these cards intermittently along with the information I'm going to be reading to you. I have to read it because I had to write it down, because I really had to narrow the subject matter down to the core so that I would be able to get this information to you in a way that would be most expedient. Trying to keep this video under, I don't know how many minutes yet. So, here we go. Being manipulated on every level to be what the New World Order wants us to be. Year after year, decade after decade, century after century, we are being manipulated and controlled. They're also known as the Illuminati. There can only be one. It's an ancient society that goes back to the snake religion. And if you go even further back in time, the Anunnaki, and to Satan, the accuser, the father of lies. Or they wouldn't have called it the Luciferian philosophy. Now, this symbol here, this ancient symbol, can be found at Göbekli Tepe and at Tiwanaku in Bolivia. The Göbekli Tepe, cannot be found at Göbekli Tepe, but the city of Göbekli Tepe goes back 12,000 years, and my point really was that this symbol here was found at Tiwanaku in Bolivia, amongst other artifacts that were strewn all over in that whole area. It's the most ancient symbol. It's actually from a rock that they found with a snake eye, not this type of eye. There's pyramids all over this planet. There seems to be an ancient global civilization that has been covered up. We are being social engineered, folks. This is what the Luciferian philosophy is all about with the Illuminati. We're being socially engineered. They're socially engineering us to slavery. They want to put a microchip in us. They want to have one religion by simulation and coercion. Through the Jesuit monks as special agents of the Catholic Church of Rome and the Freemasons, and worshiping Satanists into the order of the Illuminati, the geniuses of social satanic engineering, the brightest minds of all creeds and religions and social status. The people that are doing this, believe me, they are the upper crust of this civilization of man has to offer. These are the brightest minds. Unfortunately, they're all connected or caught into this Illuminati agenda, either by choice or by force. But the rewards are many if you do the Illuminati agenda. But make no mistake, it is the ancient snake religion. In 1962, President Kennedy in November was assassinated. Now, what a lot of people don't know is the cover-up was just simply this. He was assassinated by the driver, the CIA agent / Secret Service agent who was driving the vehicle at that time. I don't want to say the name right. William Greer was the Secret Service agent who was driving the vehicle. The fellow next to him, I don't recall the name, I didn't write it down for this. Anyhow, he was holding the steering wheel. He turned around on the shoulder, he shot President Kennedy. That's why you see his wife, Jacqueline Kennedy, who was trying to get out of that vehicle because she was afraid she was going to be assassinated also. The reason why she never said anything through the years was because her children, along with herself, were constant wars of the Secret Service agents for the rest of her life. And she didn't want to have her children harmed. As parents and people who have friends who are parents and relatives, we all know what that means. None of us wants to watch our children die. And that is the reason why she never said it. But if you look at the video, the Gruder video, as they call it, the Gruder film, the Super 8 millimeter, you will see what actually happened. It's been well documented and it's been hushed up in this country. But all those who were close in to the vehicle in the Warren report over the next couple of years were assassinated because eyewitnesses were killed, so that nobody could say who actually shot the president, which was the driver of the car. The reason why I mention this is because President Kennedy was about to divulge that we were having alien liaisons with alien people, along with we were getting aircraft, alien UFO craft that we were starting to back engineer, along with liaisoning with aliens, and there's a bunch of different alien peoples that are here now and have been. And also, there is also the fact that President Kennedy was starting to mint our own money again, taking it out of the hands of the Rothschilds, who had these central banks, which is part of the Federal Reserve Bank system, which is why we're in economic debt and slavery, because we're just being passing around paper. It has no actual value. And what they literally do is they print paper, they charge interest on that paper for loans or debts, and they collect more money off of the paper, even though the paper is worthless. It's just a big cashless system created to enslave us, and we've been falling for a hook, line, and sinker. That is why when a lot of these problems that happen in the country has been over this fight of people getting the central bank into place so that they could move the agenda along. This one world order, as it's been called, one world order has been going for centuries, thousands of years, and it's about to culminate again. The last time was Babylon, if you remember, was in the scriptures it says that was a one world order, the king Nimrod. And the people at that time, when they scattered, it became a global civilization, and then the flood happened. Now, getting back to the point, before I get off on a tangent, because this information is important for you to understand and to know, and you can later research some more. And I will have other videos that I will create out of this to expand on some of the components of what I'm talking about. But the prophet controls countries using the method of financial control. And most of all, they're Satanists. They're part of the snake religion, which is this Luciferian philosophy. And they're also either known as, Freemasons, or they're known as Illuminati. And they're all under the New World Order, which is part of the One World Order, which is the steps of this pyramid that leads up to all-seeing eye, which is the eye of Satan, the beast, who is the founder of abominations. Now, UFO craft and aliens, since 1947 at Roswell, New Mexico, the craft and aliens were captured has given us back-engineered craft, bases on the moon and Mars, using teleportation devices and high-tech larger craft that are off-world. That is the reason why when you look at the International Space Station, you don't ever see the background really. They blot it out, or they doctor the images up, and that's why they have a delay to the feed, so you can't see what's going on, or if they change things in case something gets out of control. Also, know this, that Russia and the United States have been allies for the last 100-some years. We've been allies forever. We've had this manufactured difference as part of social engineering done by Illuminati. We're a worldwide agenda, but the United States and Russia are two hands on the same body. They are not different from each other. They are together. They are one. They are part of the one world order. Now, we've been coerced and manipulated to conform. 1959, we started making these big machines to make subterranean tunnels. Today, you might hear about them more, but at that time, 1959, it was very top secret. They were doing this because they had to have underground bases, and they needed caverns to connect these bases together. Today, there's 129 bases, and there's subterranean network rail system that's all throughout this country. Here in California, Mount Shasta and Mount Lassen are connected as an example. Now, also, Mount Shasta is connected with Southern California with some of the bases there. I believe, what's that base down by Riverside, California? Is Edwards Air Force Base? I didn't really put the name down on my notes right here for this particular discussion topic. But what I do have is copies of the map. I don't have them here. They're in the videos that I created, my playlist, which I have under the Hollow Earth theory. But they have what they call DUMBs. They're deep underground military bases and machines that are self-contained and were, in 1959, in Navy operations. They were 14 to 22 feet. Howard Hughes Corporation was very much involved in that, making the machinery for these, from the tool company for these operations. Today they're over 45 feet around, which is about 5 stories tall. And they're digging underground tunnels to the tune of 129 underground bases and tunnels, which I spoke of. Out of all this secret military national interest, and known today as the National Security Agency, has used trillions of American taxpayer dollars to secret agenda projects. We are 25 to 35 years advanced in technology than we are being led to believe. It's very important to understand this point. 25 to 35 years, if not 50 years advanced. I'm not able to tell, but this is the information I've been gleaning from the videos, people who are interviewed. All eyewitnesses are not liars, okay? So all this is from people that are divulging information. They're former servicemen, they're former officers, they're former generals, they're former civilian geologists and engineers. They're all part of a network of citizens who are concerned about the path this country is taking and have been involved in projects to make sure that the space agenda gets pushed forward with the aliens so that they can keep us in the dark. I know it's a fantastical story. I believe you. Believe me, I had a while to really get access to information to understand it even better. But I assure you, these things are taking place. We are the ones who are being led down the sheeple path of ignorance. Please wake up. Research my information. Make me into a liar, because I guarantee you what I'm speaking about is true. And it can be verified. No matter what science you name, we are advanced. Today is the future. We are here. Any of these movies you've seen are getting ready for alien invasion or an agenda, part of an alien invasion to unite this country. First time it was spoke about was in 1917. It was used again by Ronald Reagan. And you always hear the 1,000 points of light, the New World Order. It gets constantly thrown at us. This New World Order, New World Order, New World Order. Look at it, people. New World Order. They keep shoveling in our face because they got a one world order agenda, part of the Illuminati conspiracy, which is also apart from the Freemasons, who are lower on the echelon, who are part of Luciferian philosophy, which is the ancient snake religion. These things are very important. That's why you're deliberately being kept in the dark to be exterminated by chronic illnesses and cancers and various viruses, because we are cash cows and are marketable commodities and human guinea pigs for the satanic Illuminati agenda, also known as the New World Order and the Illuminati, which is part of the One World Order. I want to keep putting these into your face here. I want you to remember these terms. They're very important. Snake religion, Luciferian philosophy. Since the World Trade Center in New York City was deliberately demolished in a controlled explosion, using nanotech thermite technology to cut girders and other I-beam supports, and using the radio-controlled airplanes, that short building, in Building 40, where all security agencies were housed, they later exploded to cover up that and accountability and evidence in another controlled explosion. This brought on a series of illegal infringements on our constitutional rights. And this has led to more paramilitary police forces and other government agencies that now coordinates through the Homeland Security agencies, over 22 agencies, to mobilize immediately in an emergency, whatever that may be. We are being programmed to accept hardship and struggle, to curtail civil liberties, to get us accustomed to alien encounters and interactions, and movies divulging more tech reality than we're allowed to know by our own government. The things they show us in a lot of these science fiction movies, I guarantee you that technology is available today. That's why Stargate was made. They're mocking us with this Illuminati agenda to make us believe it's all fictional information. But I guarantee you, if you look through the signs and the symbols, then it's being done more accessibly today than any other time. As an example, Katy Perry's Dark Horse video is just one example of the extreme Illuminati visualism that goes back to this Luciferian philosophy or the ancient snake religion. However, understand, we're being flashed these symbols periodically, and stars are dressing as goddesses or gods, and aliens to prepare you and insult your intelligence by showing you in plain view symbols you don't even understand as occultic or satanic, because you're too uneducated, disinformed, misinformed, and not aware of your own history as man. That you're being mocked, and that is why these things are coming to pass, because you are a sheeple, distracted person while constantly through time, these people, spirits, aliens, and demons, work on the ever-evolving to the end game of one world order. This is it, people. This is what's going on. One world order. They're using the United Nations, and the United States is flip-flopping now from democracy, not from democracy, but from a federal republic under the United States Constitution to a totalitarian socialist state, which is going to have total control over every aspect of our personal lives, our public lives, our property, and everything else around us and with us. Wake up. And that is why you're being poisoned by contaminated air, called chemtrails. I have a video called Chemtrail Poison, Death from Above. You look at that video on my list of videos that I have created to learn more specifically. I'm not going into detail about all this information. I'm doing this as quickly and succinctly without too many tangent shoots of the information as I can to get through it. The narrow, thick lines that blow out a jet's engines that linger and stay and spread into thick, broad lines or 90-degree angles or crisscross each other and slowly rain down nano-coated fiberglass particles, also known as chaff. These are heavy metals, people. The coating the sky and horizon with aluminum, which clogs your pores and your organs. Barium, a radioactive isotope. And strontium-90. There's another radioactive isotope they're used in the medical industries. But barium, they're using that. I found out recently that barium is a very good isotope that they use. Your body sucks it up. And they can track you with the satellite system with this stuff. Keep that in mind. And also are using lithium. And we all know that lithium is a corrosive heavy metal they use for batteries. Well, it's also used for brain modification. If you were bipolar or, that kind of a brain disorder, they use lithium. And that supposedly resets the brain cells in your brain not to be so whatever polar that means, right? But it makes your skin itch, it makes your body itch, and you experience that. Also, they're using food sources, GMO, genetically modified food, and not just to prevent bugs, but to have pesticides accepted by the plant and passed on to the consumer, including animal meat, to contaminate people and more animals. They're deliberately finding a way to destroy us, to kill us. We're being euthanized. and contaminated water with the same heavy metals, yet bottled water conveniently available for 99 cents a bottle. Anytime you see a star, it is a direct link to the snake religion. A star, snake religion. Star, snake religion. Luciferian philosophy. Means Satan, Lucifer, and his angels, spirit demons, and people who work for him. The New World Order. And the Illuminati. They have cures for viruses and cancer and bacteria, yet they choose to suppress that so you will hopefully die. And it appears to be a natural cause of death. Yet they could eradicate diseases because they hold patents on many of the diseases that are killing us. But they refuse to use them and implement them. And anytime somebody comes out with a cure for cancer or other diseases, they either destroy that person intellectually through, they destroy his credibility, or they destroy the person by outright, killing him. They make vaccines with aluminum and mercury and formaldehyde and claim they are safe and damage and kill many infants with this stuff. And they do it deliberately because they would have you believe that, you're waking up. Okay, you need to know these things. It's all a concentrated effort to population growth and control. A lot of you are aware of the Illuminati agenda. There's people that are aware of the blocks they built, that shows the new world under 500,000 population in the world. What do you think at 500,000, who's going to control everything? It's not going to be the people anymore. Mainstream media is owned by military-industrial complexes. Military contractors and companies who work hand in hand with the Illuminati and have programmed us for 60 or 70 years. They had MJ Magic, MK Ultra, MK Ultra is a big mind consortium where they learn how to mind control people. They do that within the entertainment industry with stars. They give them personas, they give them other personalities. They allow spirits to go through them. They allow other methods of body control through mind control. And it's been done for a long time. Anybody who's opposed their ability to do the mind control, they've outright discredited or they've killed. They tell us that we need to know from school, and this is what's going on. And most of us don't need to be here. And limiting population growth is a way to conserve planetary resources, which is now at 7.2 billion. Those of us not killed off outright will see the prophecy of the Bible fulfilled, as it has been for a while. All proof of Bible history that shows the meat of Bible facts has been suppressed, hidden, archived, to keep us ignorant and in doubt, such as giants, as an example. Smithsonian and the National Geographic have been taking the bones of giants and any other artifacts they can find that hasn't been taken by some other country, and they're squirreling them away, just like the National Treasure movie with Nicolas Cage. They're putting them in a big archive warehouses, and they're keeping them from us so that we can't prove the Bible exists as a factual book of truth. They're confusing us with evolution and the history of Western man and timelines of civilizations, including the artifacts and monuments that show at one time a global civilization. There's pyramids all over this planet. There's artifacts all over this planet. If you go into the Grand Canyon, there's evidence and there's caverns in there that have ancient Egyptian artifacts. Now, if a nation and a world wasn't globally connected, why would they have these artifacts from another civilization in this country alone? Every place across America here, there have been bones of giants that have been found. The Indians were filled with folklore, or their Indian lore, that show that giants exist. And yet that evidence is being suppressed. Civilization goes back at least 12,000 to 17,000 years. And it's all part of this Illuminati. And it's all part of the New World Order. And it's all part of the ancient snake religion, which is also part of the Luciferian philosophy. was not killed off out, we'll see the prophecy, excuse me, I'm retrying. Not to mention technology that we cannot duplicate today. The ancient peoples had technology that we're just now starting to use, and the ones of us that are using it are not me and you, they're the government with their agencies. They found out that harmonic resonancing, other devices like the teleportation are tools. They're finding out the pyramids were ancient power generators. They were using natural salt water and they were using metals to create electricity that powered the whole areas. They're finding ancient light bulbs. We're being fed. The ancient civilizations were ignorant and stupid barbarians, and it's not true. The ancient civilizations were very smart races of people, and they either had alien influence or we were exceptionally strong and intelligent people, and we're being dummied down to know this because there's a control factor, this new world order.